Okay, so check this out. So it's 1989, right? My man Hank Pym's out here being all mad because he finds out S.H.I.E.L.D.'s trying to replicate his shrink tech. And Pym's like, nah, bro, not happening. So he's like, peace and storms out of there. Cut to present day. My boy Scott Lang, fresh out of San Quentin, 3 years behind bars for doing some Robin Hood justice on his shady ex-boss. And who's waiting to pick him up? Luis, coolest dude alive. Scotty's cellmate homie, ride or die his BFF. Scotty's trying to turn his life around, but society's like, nah, can't get a decent job because he's an ex-con, right? Got a job at Baskin Robbins, but his boss Dale's like, dude, Baskin Robbins always finds out. Dude's like, yo, big fan though, but you are fired. Scott goes home, meet Kurt and Dave. Luis is like, yo, I got this little perfect job, big payoff. And Scotty like, nah, man, I'm out. Meanwhile, Hank Pym, dude's old salty and rocking that retired genius look. His daughter Hope, chicks all business suits and dagger eyes. Darren Cross, CEO of Pym Technologies. He's out here building his own shrink suit, calling it the Yellow Jacket. Hank's like, no, don't do this. Hope's like, give me the suit. Let me finish this. Hank's like, trust me, I got a guide. Scotty tries visiting his daughter Cassie at her birthday party, right? But can't see her, cause he's broke. Didn't pay a dime of that child support. And to top it off, his ex-wife's engaged to a cop bro. Now my man's all upset, cause no money equals unhappiness, right? And Scotty's like, tell me about that tip. So Luis is like, he was at this wine tasting with his cousin Ernesto, right? And it's all reds. And he hates reds. But then this magical rosé shows up and totally saves his day. He's sipping, vibing, and then Ernesto starts telling him about Emily, the first pair of boobs Luis ever touched. Anyway, Ernesto says Emily's a housekeeper now, and she's dating this dude Carlos, a big-time shot caller from across the bay. And Emily's cleaning for this retired CEO who's stacked. So Carlos and Ernesto are on the same softball team, just chatting, and Carlos drops the heat like, yo, this rich dude got a big-ass safe just sitting in the basement, chilling. So Ernesto goes to Luis because he knows Luis has mad thieving skills. And Luis is like, yo, did Emily tell Carlos to tell me what kind of safe it is? And Ernesto's like, nah, dog, she just said it's super legit and whatever's inside. Gotta be good. So Scotty's like, all right, let's roll. And the crew hits up this fancy mansion, right? Alarm systems, big old metal vault. Scotty cracks the safe, all Mission Impossible style sweating, breathing heavy, only to find an old motorcycle suit. Bro's like, the hell is this? Where's the cash? But he takes it anyway, cause burglar instinct. He gets home, starts messing with it, presses a button, and bam, dude shrinks like tiny. He's falling in the bathtub, dodging water like it's a tsunami, trying not to get stepped, running from rat. He finally gets big again, probably needs new pants. So he's like, nope, and return the suit. But bam, police show up, arrested again. My man can't catch a break. Then in jail, this old dude pulls up like, I'm your lawyer. It's Hank freaking Pym. He's like, you wanna get out of here, champ? Scott's like, what? Hank's like, trust me. Turns out, old man planned the whole thing. He slides the suit into the cell. Scott puts it on, shrinks, and escapes prison riding ants. After he escapes, he's all like, yo, what's going on? And Hank's like, surprise, that was a test. You pass. Scott's like, a test? And Hank's like, cool, help me. I'll help you. Be with your daughter again. Scotty's like, absolutely. My days of stealing shit are gone. What do you want me to do? And Hank's like, break into place and steal some shit. Turns out, Hank wants Scott to break into his old company and steal the Yellow Jacket suit before Darren sells that tech. Meanwhile, Hope's spying on Darren at work. She's mad at Hank because he's all mysterious about her mom, Janet, who vanished years ago. Then boom, training montage time. They got Scott doing all kinds of wild drills. Hope's teaching him how to throw hands. Hank's teaching him how to control ants. Scotty's getting tossed around, shrinking, growing. Now Hope, chick's all pissed. She's like, why's he wearing the suit? I'm literally better than him, and I know karate. Scotty's like, yo, Hank loves you. The reason I'm in the suit because I'm expandable. You're not. My man got that riz. So Hope helps him control the ants. Then Hank finally drops the bomb. How Janet, her mom, the OG Wasp, went subatomic to stop a Soviet nuke. Straight hero stuff. Hank spent 10 years studying quantum realm, trying to bring her back. Hope's like, why didn't you tell me sooner? And Hank's like, I was trying to protect you. Now Scotty learns to ride flying ants. He's like, yo, I'm ready. I'm the Antman. So Hank's like, yo, I need you to get something from this old Stark warehouse. Scott rolls up and goes, bro, that ain't no warehouse. That's the Avengers compound. And who pulls up? Sam Wilson, the Falcon. He sees Scott sneaking and goes, yo, I can see you. Scott's like, big fan. And then they fight, like full punching, shrinking, flying around fight. Scott damages his suit, bro. It's wild. Meanwhile, Darren Cross, dude perfects the Yellow Jacket suit and hosts a fancy unveiling. Dude literally invites Hank to the event and triples the security. And Scotty's like, yo, we need to expand our team. And Hank's like, not those three. And the team's assembled. Dave's getaway guy, Kurt's hacking, and Louis being security guard, lowering water pressure. Scotty's moving through waterline with a soldier army of ants. Hope and Louis jam the signals. Cross starts selling shrink tech to Hydra. Scotty placing bombs, fries the servers. Everything's going smooth until Cross pops out like, surprise, I knew you were coming, tiny man. Boom, Scott gets captured. Turns out he knows everything about Scotty, about to kill Hank. But Scotty breaks out, beats down Hydra goons, while that slimy Carson dude runs off with unstable Pym particles. Scotty kicking goons butt, but oh no, my man's cornered running from Bullet. Then Luis enters like bro Jesus and saves Scotty. Hank and Hope escapes in a tank. Dude keeps a literal tank in his keychain. Then the bombs go off. Boom, the whole building implodes into the quantum realm. Now Cross is big mad. He puts on the Yellow Jacket suit. They are fighting, laser, punches, all that stuff. Scotty shoots him in a bug zapper. But before Scott finishes him, Paxton shows up and tases Scott like, bro, wrong timing. Cross escapes and kidnaps Cassie. So then we get the most ridiculous fight ever. Ant-Man versus Yellow Jacket in a little girl's bedroom. Like we're talking tiny superhero versus tiny supervillain surrounded by stuffed animals and glitter. It's wild. Toys flying, train sets exploding, and Thomas the freaking tank engine gets yeeted through the window like shoo choo. Losers. It's chaos. Scotty tries to break into the suit, but nada. Then Scotty goes subatomic. He dives into Cross's suit, destroying circuits. And Cross, he just implodes into microscopic spaghetti. But then Scotty's stuck in the quantum realm, floating in weird kaleidoscope space, losing consciousness, thinking he's done for. But then he hears Cassie's voice like, Daddy. And Scotty, he pulls out a grow disc, slaps it onto his regulator, boom, he expands back to normal size. Paxton, who just saw Scott save the day and his daughter, is like, aight, we'll pretend none of this happened. And just like that, Scott is off the hook. Hank's like, Scott survived the quantum realm. Yo, maybe Janet's still alive out there. Then Luis pops in like, bro, crazy story. He's at this art museum with his cousin Ignacio, all abstract expressionism stuff. But Luis is more of a neo-cubist dude, you know? Anyway, Ignacio's like, yo, I met this writer chick last night, crazy stupid fine. Even the bartender was like, yeah, bro, crazy stupid fine. Then she tells Ignacio she's some guerrilla journalism boss with secret hookups, right? Ignacio's like, no way. And she's like, yeah, but I can't tell you my contact because he works with the Avengers. And this total badass dude rolled up to her like, yo, I'm looking for this new guy with crazy fresh tech and bomb moves. Who you got? She's like, we got a jumper, a swinger, a wall crawler. You gotta be specific, bro. And he goes, nah, I need the guy who shrinks. Luis hears that and goes, damn, because he's keeping all these Ant-Man secrets. So he asks Ignacio, like, yo, did that badass tell the stupid fine writer chick to tell me that he's looking for Ant-Man because he knows I'm tight with him? He said yes. Mid-credits, Hank showing Hope this badass prototype of Wasp suit. He's like, her mom and I was working on it. Maybe it's time we finish it. Hope looks at it and goes, it's about damn time. End credits. It's a whole year later, right? We in Berlin. Steve and Sam track down the Winter Soldier. So Cap's like, yo, we gotta handle this. And Sam's all, we can't call Tony because of those Accords. Steve's like, we are on our own. And Sam's all, I know a guy. Wow, so that's it. But don't ghost me, okay? So now's the time, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And you have subscribed, right?